Hi there.
Hello, people.
How you here?
Lola here.
Okay, so today we're here to share with you on a story I stumbled on online. It was about some nurses. Um, their union decided that they wanted to go on strike because the government didn't respond to some of the things that they have asked for or their demands. The full context of the demand, I don't know, but what happened in this video that has gone viral online was that a nurse out of you know all of the nurses that probably are part of the union that decided to obey the strike order from their union. And one of the nurses decided to stay back and not join other nurses in the strike action. We all know what strike action is, which is that services that are provided by the unions, that people that are part of this union wouldn't offer their services for the time that the strike action is on. But then we know that nurses again provide essential services. When they're on strike, that doesn't stop people from needing their services. And so for me, I look at that scenario and I'm like, okay, is it right that first and foremost, an institution like that, the nurse union, would go on strike? That's my first one. And secondly, is it okay that some members of the union would decide to say we are not going to join the strike action because maybe they have a different opinion to what the union wants to achieve with the strike, or they just feel like we provide essential services, therefore all of us cannot decide to leave our role because lives depend on it. And on the side of the people that are part of the union, right, is it fine if they see such action as a sabotage? Is it fine if they see such an action as, at the end of the day, when the goal is achieved, it is not only for them that are just part of the union alone that will benefit. Everybody that identifies with that profession will benefit, or that work in those institutions will benefit, from whatever is being achieved. So Lola, I would like you to share your view about it. I'm sure you have seen the video as well.
Yes.
That viral video. What do you think? What came to your mind? What do you think about it? Do you think it's fair on that woman that decided not to join the strike action? Or do you think also the numerous people that are part of the strike action feel like the woman is trying to do eye service, or play a fast one on them to show that, oh, I love this profession more than everybody else, or and in a way sabotage the goal that they want to achieve? Because I feel like those people that are part of the union that came to tell her to leave the workplace felt like she was doing too much. And even in the video they were saying that, see, what we are fighting for is for everybody. When this strike action yields positive results, you are also going to benefit from it. What do you think?
I think they should have left her alone. I think they overdid it. I think, and they were not wise again, for even because apparently they were the ones that did the video and posted it online. I don't think it puts them in a good light, even though there are a lot of Nigerians supporting them, but it doesn't put them in a good light. It can stand as a record against them too. But this is why I think they should have left her alone. If 90 of you, she was just one person, how much would she be able to do? But if she had that conviction, what kind, it felt like a bullying energy. It felt like a a dictatorial energy that you can't accept any dissent. You are a union, fine, but we are in a democracy and people have rights. And if there has been majority cooperation, you will get the attention of the government, because one person cannot function or do the whole functions of that place. So you should have just left her alone. And I felt like they just presented themselves as unprofessional, uncouth, calling her saboteur, abusing her. You know, one of them made a statement and said, "Is it your father's property?" Personally, I don't want nurses that think that way. It's not your personal father's property, truly. But if somebody is approaching a job like health services, teaching, and other things in that manner, even the person that is a food vendor, if you find out that the person is just doing it for certain reasons and there's no passion in it, you should be careful. So the whole video, the way they went about it, and more importantly, they could have left her. I understand they are trying to put pressure on the government. The pressure will work even if one person comes to work. Of course, they might say, oh, we're trying to make sure other people don't fall in, which is true. In groups like that, there are people who are just playing the safe game. They see an opportunity, they also will live out their convictions. But insulting her, doing that, it wasn't necessary. And above all, posting that video was not wise. If somebody has a conviction like that, they feel them being on duty, which is true, there might be one person's life they save. Are you people no longer interested in saving lives? And then, you know, we have to question some of these things. A lot of Nigerians don't have the chance to work in the public service. If you don't like your job and the pay, all you can do as somebody in private service is resign or be bold to ask for better pay and all that. And they are paying you out of our commonwealth. They are paying you out of our commonwealth. Some of us will never have access to those things. And yes, you're asking for better conditions, but I think they have to find a way around these things, because they looked very oppressive in that video. They don't look different from some of the people they bash and all those things. And the way they behave, one of my thoughts was that if a patient came there too, they will probably be rude and nonchalant and all kinds of things. And that it's not really the best. It didn't speak well of them. That's my own thought.
Thank you for that. Well, I totally agree with all the things you have said. You know, I just want to add to it to say, in the first place, I feel that people that provide, essential services like that, at the core of it is humanity. And I believe that whatever reason you may have to want to go on such strike actions, there has to be a way whereby even the union themselves can say, in our demonstration, right, in being able to communicate our grievances to the right authority so that they can get the message. Maybe we have communicated it with them in certain ways and they still don't understand how important it is. We are going to communicate our reservations by going on strike. I want to believe that what they should have done is, if they are like, maybe in an hospital, maybe they are like 100 nurses, the union themselves should have said, okay, you know what's going to happen? We're going to withdraw this, we're going to withdraw the services of at least 70 to 80.
And that's what they do in other countries.
And we'll keep 20,
Yes.
In the hospital doing what they need to do. And even with these 20 that are doing what they need to do, the services will be slow. The people that come for the services will see that, definitely maybe it's just the major areas that, these nurses are going to be able to cover. Anything that seems to be minor would have to see some delay before they are able to access, a nurse service. I want to believe that should be the way forward. And even out of the 80, if there's anybody that is not truly convinced about what we want to fight for, it's fine if such a person decides, to, offer their service when we have said we want to go on that strike action. Because in the first place, union is an association, and it's not compulsory that you must belong to it. It's not a cult, It's not compulsory you have to belong to it. It's voluntary,
Yes.
So I grew up in a university environment, and I knew certain lecturers at that time that were not part of the biggest, academic staff union, which is ASU in Nigeria, So, and they were fine. They were just lecturers, and they were okay. And so when there was strike actions, they were resuming in their office, and they were doing what they needed to do, as the times would permit. So I think it's important to have that view and that perspective, even with the unions themselves. So and now the unions, rather than getting sympathy from the citizens, they are not getting that sympathy that they need. For people that probably sided with that action, I'll put it to them to say, if you had a medical emergency and the nurses were on strike, and the nurse decided to stay back to just attend to your medical needs within that period, and you see his or her other colleagues asking that nurse to withdraw his or her services, would you be happy with it? I will leave that question with you. Would you be happy with that? Would you think that was fair? Would you still support the cause of what the nurse union was trying to achieve? And sometimes these things, as little as funny as we are painting that scenario, lives could be lost because of that. I've seen people lost their child because nurses were on strike. If that is a scenario placed in front of you, which side would you stay with? I will leave that question with you guys, and I'll be looking forward to see, what your answer will be in the comment section. But that's my view about what just happened, and the viral video that we just saw. And I think, importantly, every one of us, wherever we are, we must understand that whatever actions we are trying to take, humanity must come first. Because at the end of the day, it's still going to be about humanity. When whatever you're doing is going to affect other people in a negative way, in a way that at the end of the day, they don't have other means to be able to solve whatever problem that they have, then I believe that whatever you are trying to achieve, you need to bridle it. You need to put some gaps. You need to accommodate, some certain outliers that may happen. So that's what I have to say about that. Do you have any other thing to add?
Oh, I just want to say that some of these unions, they need to keep in mind that these actions usually afford the helpless citizens, not the ones who have a choice. There's nobody, even people that have influence, for instance, let's even leave politicians, but people that can put pressure. There's hardly any of them that would have a sick child or will be sick and would be heading, it's even so bad that there are people that they will hear that the hospitals are on strike, but because they are so helpless, they will still go there, hoping that they will even see somebody. That's how helpless they are. There's hardly any person with some influence or funds or resources. Once they hear, they will not go there. They will go to private hospitals. And if they didn't even know and they went there, they'll probably be able to track quickly to a private hospital. So this kind of ground zero, scorched earth kind of thing that you are doing, who is it going to affect? And people that take public jobs, they must remember that it's the Commonwealth of the people that is paying them. They should be well paid, they should be treated well. That is not the point. But the point is that you have peers in the private sector that if they don't have job, like their pay, if they don't like their pay, if they don't like their job setting, they can't really do much except for quit, maybe make complaints or take even their bosses to court or something. They can't do some of these things. We need to be careful. I remember when COVID was on, people in private schools, everything shut down. They went to zero. Many of the people in public schools that complain, that say that everything is not good, they were paid all through. So we have to balance these things and be honest and be compassionate and see ourselves as all building together. There were people that after that, they started looking for government teaching tools with everything they had.
Yeah.
The government couldn't just push them away. They could come out and say, oh, the salary is low. But in that situation, a glaring advantage became very clear. Same thing with so many people. A lot, even the people that were running the private schools. I know there was a school near our former house then. That person turned, when COVID ended, that person didn't do school again because maybe the whole thing was so traumatic.
Yes.
So, we should think about those things. We need to be careful. And that video, I will go back to it. I don't know the idea behind doing that video. It was in bad taste. That's what I want to say.
We'll be looking forward to your comments. We'll be looking forward to those that agree with us. And as many that don't agree with us, we'll also be reading your comments as well.
To hear what you have to say.
So see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.